Okay, so this is going to be evaluating limits analytically, example problem set number 2. So remember last video, all we did was really plug in or factor. So we're going to plug in a 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 minus 1 gives you a 0. Okay, it's nothing harder than that. Okay, now I should recognize here that x squared minus 4 is going to factor by difference of squares. Okay, if you want to plug in, you're going to get 0 over 0. So I'm just saving you the extra work. So x squared minus 4 factors to x plus 2, x minus 2. The x plus 2's will cancel. And so I'm left with this expression right here. Now I'm going to plug in a negative 2. A negative 2 minus 2 is a negative 4, so this comes out to be a negative 1/4. This one we're going to straight plug in. 2 times 3 cubed minus 10 times 3 plus 1. Okay, 3 cubed is going to be 27. 27 times 2 is going to be 54 minus 30 plus 1. Okay, so I get 24 plus 1 is going to be 25. Okay, so next example problem. There's no x's to plug in, so your limit as x approaches 4 is just going to be pi. Next example problem. The bottom doesn't factor, so I wouldn't bother factoring with that. So I'm going to plug in a 2. So I get 2 minus 3 over 2 times 2 squared minus 2 minus 15. So 2 minus 3 is a negative 1. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 minus 15 is going to be negative 9. Okay, so negative 1 divided by negative 9 is going to be 1/9. Okay, okay, cool. Next one, we're going to plug in a 0. 0 squared is 0. 0 plus 16 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. Okay, next one. This one, I believe, factors. So let's try and factor it. So factors of negative 6, that give you a negative 7. That's not possible. Yeah, I don't think this one factors. So 6 squared minus 7 times 6. Minus 6. 6 squared is 36. 3 times 36. 11 times 6. Minus 42. So we get 36 minus 6. 36 minus 42 minus 6. Comes out to be a negative 12. And 3 times 36 minus 66 minus 42 comes out to be 0. Now, so let's pay attention to this. Anytime you get division by 0, not 0 over 0, division by 0, it's either going to be positive infinity or negative infinity. So since this one came out to be a negative on top, this is going to go to negative infinity. Okay, and we already know that it doesn't exist because it's not a y value. Okay, just like in the previous homework set, if we have 4 terms, we're going to factor it by grouping. Okay, so we're going to group the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms together. So we get x squared times x minus 3 minus 4 times x minus 3. So the top is going to factor like that. Now, this can factor down even further by difference of squares, x plus 2, x minus 2, and x minus 3. And we get an x plus 2, like that. So the x plus 2's will end up canceling. So all we're going to do is we're going to plug in a negative 2. So negative 2 minus 2 times negative 2 minus 3. Negative 2 minus 2 is a negative 4. Negative 2 minus 3 is a negative 5. So we get 20. Okay, so we got a piecewise function. We're going to do the limit as x approaches 0 from the negative side. So we're going to plug in a 0 into the top branch. Okay, so 0 squared is 0. 0 minus 5 is a negative 5. Okay, plugging a 0 into the bottom branch gives you the limit as x approaches 0 from the right-hand side. So if I plug in a 0 down here, I get a negative 3. Since these two values aren't the same, the limit as x approaches 0 of f of x does not exist. Okay? So this is limits, doing it algebraically. I didn't involve any sort of trig in this stuff, but there is trig involved at some point in time. Reminder, if you get 0 over 0, you have to simplify it by factoring and canceling. If you get a number over 0, if the top number is positive, it goes to positive infinity. If the top number is negative, it goes to negative infinity. Otherwise, your other examples are pretty much just plugging in. Okay, so hopefully this helped you out a little bit. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks. Bye.